A very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Chicago Bears. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in week 4 and taken successfully. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Dalvin Cook, the ball carrier.
If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. They go play action. Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook.
Cousins pass.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's going to be stopped short of a first down as they'll get to him at about the 33. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
A gain of only a yard. It's 4th down.
So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt.
Vikings.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return, and the Bears take over.
10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. From the shotgun is Trubisky. That's complete to the Memphis man, Anthony Miller. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Brings up 2nd.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. The first carry for the shifty Tariq Cohen. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
A gain of 3.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the 1st down. They love being physical.
On first down, they go right back to Cohen. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
And we're at the 41, 2nd and 9. Out of the gun, Trubisky. And that'll be intercepted by the Pro Bowl safety Harrison Smith. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way, and the head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Dalvin Cook, the ball carrier.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
And 7. At
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. From the gun, here's Cousins. Staying on his feet, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. Akeem Hicks. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Runs up 4th down, solid coverage by the Bears D.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
7-yard attempt.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And the toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
A gain of
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. From the gun, it's Trubisky. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their third possession. They don't have a first down yet.
That means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some team...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Robert Quinn coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Cousins gives way to Cook.
He was taken down by Kyle.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
Quarter with the score Vikings 3, Bears 0.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. And that is incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
Incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
We'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. As the season winds down and you look at them in totality, you know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football, because as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change at quarterback, running back, tight end. It doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
3rd down.
Now it's Trubisky. The screen pass here to Cohen. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Abdullah to return. 43 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10.
Their own 23-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They run. Cook. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. Really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Working out of the gun, Cousins. That's caught. It's Tajay Sharp. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Now Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on return, and it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. On 2nd and 9, Trubisky and firing a deep ball for well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they finally get him down at the other 46. A huge play there for Chicago. 41 yards.
1st down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. And he finds his tight end, Graham. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now Trubisky. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A gain there of 30 big ones.
1st down, Bears.
This offense has been slow to get started, but that play will certainly give them a little bit of life. Maybe the late wake-up call that they had been seeking.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, here's Trubisky on 1st down. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack.
2nd down.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. They snap it at 1. Now it's Trubisky. Now Trubisky lost the football.
Trubisky sacked. Fumble on the play. Recovered by the offense. offense.
So we've reached halftime. All we have to show for the first half, a lone field goal. 3-0 our score. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Take over first and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Out of the gun, running with Cohen. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Trubisky. Buying time to his left. Now he'll pull it down. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
2nd down and 5. Throwing here, Trubisky. Over the middle, complete. That's Robinson. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval as a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. It's caught outright by Graham. And he'll be out of bounds. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Chicago.
I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Now they've got 3 tight ends here on 1st and goal to add some extra mass. They'll run forward to Cohen. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
2nd and goal at the 3-yard line.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. They try again with Cohen. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. Well, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
The third down now. Those last two plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. They'll try to run forward with Cohen, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Tariq Cohen, his fourth touchdown on the year. And the Bears have taken the lead. Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3.
Makes the score Bears 7, Vikings 3. Eddie Pinheiro to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And Abdullah will not try to bring it out.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
Ball at the 24 and a 2nd and 11. To throw, Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
A first down throw for Cousins. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
On 2nd down now. It's Cook. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
On 3rd down, Cousins. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Kyle Fuller. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line.
First and 10.
But when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Trubisky. He's going to float this one deep right side. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
It's now 2nd down.
But you got to think that sooner or later, they're going to hit one of those. But the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
After the incomplete pass. Here now is 2nd and 10. Trubisky gives to Cohen. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They run. This is Cohen. They're able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
Cohen, the ball carrier.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. On the give, this is Cohen. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
Ball carrier. Harrison Smith on the tackle. It's a gain of 4.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with this 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Bears on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. On the handoff, it's Cohen. And not much running room. Down to the 32. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And that last turnover could have proven more costly, but their defense only gave up 3. But now answering with a field goal doesn't do them much on this drive. They need to try and find the end zone. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. Now Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. The Vikings on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Cousins to throw it. And he's got his tight end. That's Smith. And off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Herb Smith Jr., his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And no sweat. He puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And this will make it into the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
First down, Chicago.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. This is Cohen. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears first down. Couple of very nice carries to start this drive out.
Yeah, 2 first downs. And how about that second one? What a nice run on that particular play. I'm telling you, they're going to start to think that this game is easy if they continue to rip off yardage like this.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now a shotgun handoff to Cohen. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Play action. It's Trubisky. This to Graham on the short pass. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
It's a gain of
well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Bears on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. From the shotgun is Trubisky. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free. And it brings up 4th down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. All tied up, less than 2 minutes to go. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. On play action, Cousins. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
That gets them the first down, but they've still got to move quickly here.
1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Now Cousins. Airing it out deep for Smith. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
I'm looking at this with my defensive eyeglasses on because you remember the old days when a tight end saw a linebacker covering him and thought he had a mismatch? But the way they can run nowadays, not necessarily so. They gave it a shot downfield. That one incomplete.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well, incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Cousins to throw. He's going to launch this thing right downfield. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. So how about that for a momentum switch?
We're in the 4th quarter, and it's a tie game. You've got to take care of the football here. Now their opportunity to take the lead right out the window, and everything is flipped in the other direction.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They need to get this around the 40 to have a chance to win it in regulation. From the 40, it's a 57-yard field goal, so that gives you a gauge.
And all they're trying to do now is pick up yardage in good chunks and get out of bounds to stop the clock. If they end up running a play and get tackled in,
and he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now it's Trubisky. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Now they're just trying to do anything possible to try and get the ball downfield and get into field goal range.
And with that clock dwindling, they felt the need to take a pretty big shot there. Unfortunately, couldn't complete it. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now they'll run it with Cohen. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game.
4th down.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here comes Uduno on the return. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. A tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you.
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
Kirk Cousins sacked.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. So they keep the ball, but work to do on second and long. Cousins. Looking here for Smith downfield. He's got a man. Complete. 20. 10.
Greatest show
and
ever.
he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty. No question there.
You don't think they spent a couple seconds mulling over what the penalty
I
would
don't
do
even
for
know
them?
why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Bailey now for the extra point. And it would appear they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory.
Makes the score Vikings 17, Bears 10.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no return on this one. It's a fair catch, a signal for, and taken.
The Bears take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They have time here, partner, for just one final heave.
And I have to look at it from the defense's perspective here. We know what they're going to do on offense. The Hail Mary, try and get guys down there and throw it in the end zone, tip it around and catch it. You've got to have guys back there to defend that. But also, you can't allow the quarterback as much time as he wants to set up and throw it. Maybe you bring a little extra pressure to make sure he gets rid of it quicker.
A little bit of a cat and mouse game. We'll see if they bring that pressure. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for Minnesota, they get back to 500 now as the win moves them to 7-7. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Bears, the season is really nosediving now as they fall to 2-12. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.